We've all had the fear of catching a virus, but while there are some that may slow down your computer slightly, there are some that can cause millions to $1 billion of damages. So I'm your host Andrew, and today we'll talk all about the top 10 scary internet curses. At our number 10 spot we have MyDoom. This one is the first one I mentioned because this could very well be the most destructive virus on this list, and there are some pretty bad ones I have yet to mention. MyDoom was the fastest spreading email based worm ever, except rather than targeting regular people, this virus attacked tech companies such as Microsoft, Google, and SEO. For those who don't know, a worm is a standalone program that doesn't need a host program to run. There are many worms on the list, so just keep that in mind. The virus was introduced in 2004 and it was activated when people would open the attached file onto the infected email. This would then take over the entire computer by sending more emails to more people. And you can see how devastating this was, especially if you got guys like Bill Gates and Ed Warren in your email list. This worm could target the backdoor of port 3127 on unpatched versions of Microsoft Windows, which just meant that it had all access to all parts of your system, including all of your information. Since this virus is able to spread through various emails and such, it actually got to a point when so many emails were sent, the internet started to slow down. At the end of the day, MyDoom was responsible for over $38 million in damages, and at its peak, it was responsible for over 25% of the emails at the time. At our number 9 spot, we have Melissa. This virus was able to spread through Microsoft's Outlook email program, and it disguised itself as a Microsoft Word document. And its ability was to take advantage of a computer's function known as a macro. For those non-computer geeks, the best way to describe a macro is to think about your mouse. You know those little buttons on the side or even the ones in the middle? If you were to set one of those buttons as a mouse click, for example, that would be considered a macro. Basically another input to do another input on your computer. Once users clicked on these infected emails, their computers would get hijacked and be forced to send the same email to 50 other people. This caused crazy online traffic and caused these email companies over $80 million in damages. The person behind this virus was named David L. Smith, and he was caught only a week after Melissa was first released back in March 1999. He was sentenced to 20 months in prison with a $5,000 fine, which is really low considering the cost of damages he really did. At number 8 spot, we have Sasser. This malicious virus was first released on April 30th, 2004, and was created by a 17-year-old German computer science student named Sven Jasten. The virus worked by exploiting computers' operating systems through vulnerable network ports. It caused multiple news channels to go completely dark, had planes cancelled all over North America and parts of Europe, and lastly, the British Coast Guard's electronics got completely shut off at the time. The virus was able to do this by overriding a computer security system until it crashed. News broke out quickly, and as quick as the virus was released, it quickly got shut down. They managed to find out who created the worm right away, and Microsoft posted a $250,000 bounty to find the student. Then on May 7, 2004, Sven got arrested because one of his own friends informed Microsoft directly that he created the worm. He would be found guilty of computer sabotage and illegally altering data. Then a year later, he would be handed a 21-month suspended sentence. At our number 7 spot, we have CryptoLocker. CryptoLocker is a type of ransomware or Trojan horse virus that encrypts the contents of infected computers, which basically prevents all access to any of your information. This means private photos, passwords, banking information, social security information. After becoming infected, victims are expected to pay a ransom in order to decrypt and recover their files. Basically a blackmail in a virus. This virus would be sent out usually through emails that contain sketchy attachments. The largest spread of the virus was between September 2013 to late May 2014. This virus took over 500,000 machines and demanded a ransom of $300 for each and every single one of those computers. And at the end of the day, it stole over $3 million, and for some, they never even decrypted their stolen data. At number 6 spot, we have Code Red. First observed in 2001, this virus was discovered by EI digital security employees and named it Code Red because oddly enough, they were drinking Code Red Mountain Dew at the time. In just a single day on July 19, 2011, the virus attacked just under 500,000 websites. On all infected websites, it had the text string saying, quote, "Welcome to www.worm.com hacked by Chinese." The virus worked by infecting a single computer, then attacking specific sites. After 20 days, the infected computer will launch a, quote, "denial of service attack," which is when you flood a website with requests for access until that website can't handle the weight of internet traffic. Eventually, Unfortunately, the FBI issued a warning to all infected businesses because they may still have a dormant computer ready to send another wave of attacks. Right in the hump of our list, we have Klez. This worm was sent out through spoof emails to ensure no chance of being traced back, and it was also notable for being a virus that didn't even need to be downloaded, only need to be previewed or opened to be infected onto your computer. Once it infected a computer, it would replicate itself and send more emails to other people, causing millions of emails to be sent out like a machine. This high internet traffic caused communications all over the world to shut down, which ended up dealing an estimated $19.8 billion in damages. At number 4 spot, we have Stormworm. In 2007, yet another worm spread through email, but it wasn't holding your information for ransom, it wasn't deleting your files, it just wanted to take over your entire computer. In infected emails, it would have the subject line 230 dead as storm batters Europe. Then inside the email, it wouldn't have an attachment like others on this list. Instead, it would have a website link where when you clicked it, the virus would then be downloaded onto your system. So what it do? It was being used as a botnet, and for those who don't know, a botnet is a group of computers that form one single network. Basically, they can be used to work together to make things more efficient, to launch attacks in coordination. The possibilities are endless. With one computer, imagine many, many more. The Stormworm would then go on to slow down and disable web servers and even stole passwords and identity information for hundreds of thousands of people. At its peak, the botnet contained over 1.5 million computers ready to do anything it asks. So just imagine if they want to do something way more evil, because they definitely could with that type of power. At number 3 spot, we have So Big. For this, you get the best of both worlds because this virus contains both a worm and a Trojan horse virus within one email. The infected email would arrive with the subject line re-wicked screensaver or re-approved. Then below would be yet another attachment. The virus was unique because CNET considered it to be the fastest growing virus ever. It would go on to delay airlines because of communication system failure and cause many North American companies to have no access to electricity or communication. At number 2 spot, we have Surcamp. This worm, as many others on this list, was released via email with a fishy attachment along with it. The file would say, quote, "I send you this file in order to have your advice. Check it." When users clicked it, they would have their whole system infected immediately. What's different about this worm is that it would randomly select files on your computer and then send them to other people. So imagine you worked for a highly confidential job, or even you were just a private person. You can see how this is very detrimental. At our number 1 spot is the I Love You virus. This one is by far the most popular one on this list and is also considered to be one of the most deadliest viruses ever released, which is why it takes our number 1 spot. The I Love You virus, or the love bug virus, is a computer worm that reached up to 45 million computers in just a matter of 2 days. It was called this because the infected email that was sent out to people had the subject line I love you with an attachment below named loveletterforyou.txt. This would be ironic since the moment you click the txt file, the virus will do everything to show you that they don't love you. This worm will go through all your computer files, including the documents where passwords, private images, or audio files could be stored, and then it would change the files' names to I love you. Basically, it would replicate itself until your computer is filled with files named I love you. Then it would send the I love you email to even more people on this list, that it would infect their computer with I love you files. In the end, it caused a total of $9 billion in damages worldwide and an extra $10 billion just to remove the worm completely. The virus was then traced back to 2 developers in the Philippines. They're arrested, but then they're released since no law forbid them from doing that. Well, these are the top 10 scary internet viruses. I'm your host Andrew, and I hope you guys have a scary day.